The connection for me is very personal to the park. My parents came here during World War II. My father came as a wounded Marine who convalesced at Balboa Hospital. My mother was an officer in the Navy Nurse Corps. So this is where they began. So it's very special to me, always has been.
I think that there's just a real romance to the combination of buildings and landscapes. And I grew up in Mexico and Latin America, and when I see these places, they just feel familiar to me in a really profound way. And all of the different trees and plants that can grow in this park, it's really such an amazing, diverse place to visit.
I started coming to the park with my family when I was a young kid. I've been coming back to the park ever since and bringing my family now. It's a magical place. It's just been a passion to try to enjoy it, first of all, but also to try to promote it, protect it, and make sure that it's here for future generations.
If baseball was America's pastime, this park could be considered certainly San Diegans' sort of lifeblood, because people have been coming here since they were children. They would bring their children. I sort of started with my kids a little late. I've got a 10-year-old, but I bring him here, and I've been bringing him since he was born. But my father, who is now 90 years old, comes here with me as well. So we span from about a 90-year span of coming here. And I think for so many people in San Diego, that's what this park represents.
A lot of people think that just the expo areas are the park, but it goes all the way to 28th, up to Upas, down to Dade, and over to 6th. It's 1,100 acres. It's bigger than Central Park. It's a big beast to manage, so it's a lot of admin, it's a lot of consideration. There's a lot going on here.
This is a place that has beautiful, stunning architecture, but then it has buildings that are in very poor condition as well. We have a lot of really beautiful things in this park, and then we have a lot of things that aren't so great. There's an abandoned landfill on the East Mesa, an abandoned landfill in the middle of this park. To me, it's just shocking.
If we pay attention to the news lately, we know that there are pieces of the roofs that are falling down. We know that there are cracks in some of the foundations. We know that some of the areas of the park really are not as clean and pleasant or appealing as they really should be.
I think the park has come to its current condition because of a lack of attention and funding, which brought about the need for a conservancy, for a one entity to really take a look.
The Balboa Park Conservancy was formed by city leaders, both philanthropic and folks here in the park and with the City of San Diego, to really come alongside the City of San Diego Park and Recreation Department to bring additional resources to the table and to work with the city to dream and envision a better future for this park.
Central Park in the 1970s had a terrible reputation. It had really fallen into decline. It was just having problems and problems and problems. Ultimately, a Central Park Conservancy was formed, and it really ultimately, along with the involvement of the city and a real commitment, really brought it back to what it is now. And having just visited there, it is absolutely amazing and fantastic. The good news is that Balboa Park has never sunk to that level where it's become dangerous or just an eyesore or something like that. The bad news is it still has a great deal of unfunded things that many people don't see.
We need to really preserve, enhance, and restore these special places for current and future generations.
Our goal is to protect the park, to promote it, and to again ensure that it's the best that it can possibly be for future generations. What we need to understand about the park is that it's our park, it's the people's park, it's our family's park.
The reason why we need to preserve this amazing park, this amazing cultural landscape, is that it was passed down to us, we inherited it. We inherited it from major design professionals. I mean, people that were trained in Paris, people that were trained in New York, landscape architects, horticulturists. This is a very significant park, and it needs to be revered, it needs to be cared for. It needs attention, it needs funding badly.